Hey everyone, Sarah Rudolph here with Vital Life Physical Therapy in Longview, Texas. I'm going to do a follow-up on the release of the pectoral muscle group, which I showed you using the small green self-treatment ball. So this release that you can do, all you need is your very own hand. And what you're going to do is put your arm out to the side. You may want to support it on something like a chair or a wall, and you'll want to put your hand right over here, which is where that pectoral muscle group is. Now you want to do this really skin on skin so that you can get good contact to really affect a release in the soft tissue of the front of the shoulder area. So what you want to do is just press gently through the resistance of the skin, and then allow the weight of your arm to create a downward drag on that area of the front of your shoulder. And you'll want to hold it there. You may want to also rather elevate your arm to be a little bit more in that diagonal position to get that pec minor a little bit more in the release. Sometimes I like to do this just in the shower in the morning time. So I really just actually lift my arm up and release at the same time, or you can support your arm perhaps on the wall of the shower. Right now I'm just using a chair next to me to illustrate this. Remember that when you do this on your own, you will want to have skin on skin contact. So if you have clothing on, just put your hand up underneath your clothing and get onto the skin. And this hand is not exerting a whole lot of force, it's just through the resistance of the skin and creating a little bit of a downward drag. And you want to hold this position again for a minimum of 90 seconds, preferably longer, to allow the collagen of your connective tissue to soften and release, which will then create increased length in the tissue, which is why we want to do these things in the first place. So that's the way that you do a self-release of the pectoral muscle group using myofascial release principles. And of course, when you're tight and you use either the ball or the self-release technique, it's more beneficial if you do then follow up with an actual stretch. Okay, so what you can do, again, remembering that the pectoral muscle group has two heads. The major is more horizontal and then the minor is more diagonal. So when you're doing a stretch for the major, you're going to have your arm out at approximately shoulder height. And here I have just a chair next to me because I'm seated. And you're going to just have your hand there, and then you can turn away from it so that you're lengthening the muscle over the front of the shoulder here. You can also do this in a standing position with your hand against the wall. And if you don't have the range of motion in your wrist to have your hand extended and your wrist extended, some people like to hold on to the corner of the wall or like a door, okay? So that you've got something to grip on with your hand, and then just turn your body away. And you want to just hold that position, take some deep breaths, feel into the stretch, be aware of what else you may be feeling in your body. You may feel some pulling down in the forearm, okay? It means you may have some tightness down in there, either in the muscles or in the nerves that are going through their sheaths down into your arm. So you want to hold that position for at least 90 seconds and preferably longer if you want to exert change into the muscle. And for that minor, you're going to want to have your arm up in a more vertical position, well, diagonal position really. So you can start with your body and your arm in the same plane, and then turn away from the arm again and just hold that stretch position. Remember to take some deep breaths. Allow your shoulders just to relax and feel into the stretch. If you don't feel it enough, you can turn your body slightly more away from it. I have my arm a little further back than what I should. So sometimes I also do this stretch in the car when I'm driving. I find that when I'm also getting tight in here, from either from driving or from working on my patients, just nice in my commute home to place my arm on the chair next to me, just behind the chair, the back of the chair, and just give a good opener. Obviously, I'm not going to turn away, but it really actually gives a great stretch because my arm actually goes a little further back. And then to do the pec minor, you can kind of reach up to the headrest on the seat next to you in the car and hold that position. So always remember, once you've held your stretch for the 90 seconds or longer, if you want to change the length of the muscle by giving those collagen fibers enough time to soften and relax, you also want to come out of the stretch slowly and then back to your neutral position. So those are some great stretches and self-release techniques to help loosen and open up the front of your shoulders and chest, to help you avoid getting into this forward flexed position and help you have a more open chest, better respiration, better head on neck position for better spine health overall. Thanks for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to share them below, and also feel free to share this video with those you love so that they can walk in health too. Until next time, this is Sarah Rudolph with Vital Life Physical Therapy in Longview, Texas.